In the center of this blustering World Cup match, William Carvalho could be seen loping gamely after the twinkling feet of Isco. This was exactly the sort of game in which a defensive midfielder such as Carvalho was required. It was also the sort of game which flew right past him and left him barely necessary. It didn't start that way. No one touched the ball as many times as Carvalho in the opening 3 minutes, as he drifted across the pitch in the quarterback slot, keeping Portugal ticking, and keeping the pressure high, until Cristiano Ronaldo drew the early penalty which put Portugal in front. Thereafter the Spanish carousel began to dominate the ball. Isco made a resounding case for why Julen Lopetegui should build his Real Madrid midfield around the 26-year-old. Andres Iniesta drifted and floated in spaces between red shirts, while Sergio Busquets stood and passed some more. Could do little about the 3 Spanish goals. Looked like a safe pair of hands for the rest of the game. Got forward well, and was one of the better Portuguese defenders when faced with Costa and Go. Should have done better for the opening Costa goal and looked a little rusty against an informed striker. Strong at the back, and could do little about the Spanish goals. Solid for Portugal but sometimes bewildered by Spanish passing, but that could be said for everyone at times. Strong and powerful, good in possession and won the ball back several times. Reliable and hard-working for Portugal, sometimes overrun in midfield but didn't stop for his team. One of the weaker players for Portugal, hauled off in the second half whilst on a yellow. Not the silver we were used to seeing at Manchester City, taken off early in the second half. Had chances on the counter to hurt Spain in the first half but fluffed his lines. Cool and calm under pressure for the penalty, lucky for his second, but stupendous for the third. Didn't put a foot wrong. Could do nothing for Ronaldo's early penalty, but an absolute howler for his second, and unsighted for his third. Not his finest 90 minutes. A mixed bag from the defender. To bring down Ronaldo for the penalty, but the best goal he will ever score to make up for it. Good in possession as ever, and with Ronaldo scoring from 2 set pieces and a goalkeeping error he will feel unlucky to concede 3. Some beautiful cross-field balls and passing, looked fairly solid at the back especially against Gerges. A quiet game by his standards. Good in possession as expected but not as much of an attacking threat as usual. Winning the ball back consistently, and spreading possession, Busquets remains calm and collected. The man behind the passing, never takes the headlines but kept Spanish midfield ticking. An impressive performance to link with Costa up front, and a constant danger for Portugal. A brilliant talent, controlling the passing and play all over the pitch. His skills and trickery frustrated Portugal. Tired towards the end before being substituted, but showed glimpses of his passing that oozes class. One of his best performances in a Spanish shirt, 2 goals and an overall good performance. Unlucky to be subbed. Carvalho is one of those players who could put himself in the shop window during this tournament, and he showed glimpses of what has made him such a key player at Sporting. His simple passing helped Portugal retain the ball in tight spots and move upfield. A sharp switch of play launched a first-half counter-attack which eventually dwindled to nothing, and back he went. As the match wore on and Spain created more, Carvalho became harder to spot. When Diego Costa fired several shots away in the second half, Portugal's War II carrier splashed onto the scene a little too late. His club Sporting are in chaos right now, with Carvalho one of a number of players to have rescinded their contracts over a training ground assault by some of the club's ultra supporters. It means he is likely to be playing somewhere new in August, with West Ham one of those clubs linked after going close to a deal last summer. This was perhaps not the game in which to judge the midfielder's qualities. He will not be playing against this kind of midfield every week, but it showed that he is not the kind of player to be parachuted in and shut down some of the Premier League's premium midfield players. Carvalho's best moments came when his team needed a steadying presence in possession. Those chances will come against Morocco and Iran. Follow the Independent Sport on Instagram here, for all of the best images, videos and stories from around the sporting world.